Good morning, guys. How we doing? Hope you're really good. So I'm hoping that you're going to be able to hear me here. I think we're just probably having slight technical issues. The signal is not great where I'm at, but hopefully you can hear me. Today we're going to kind of talk about how the problems stack up for us. And I heard a really great analogy yesterday about how we lose at Tetris, and it's like putting one wrong shape at the bottom and it then becoming a fight to regain control of the game. Have you ever played Tetris on the Game Boy back in the day? This is where a lot of the problems lies when we place the wrong block or the wrong foundations. So we're going to go through that now. All right, I think we've got sound back as well, which is good. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I'm your host, James Boardman. If you are coming through, then please do let me know by commenting in the box or hitting the love heart button. Okay, I think this is our second attempt. We had a bit of a nightmare on the first one trying to get the sound going. I didn't bring my microphone as well, so it's probably not going to be great quality, so I apologise. So I'm on the road at the minute. I went up to Birmingham yesterday to go meet a guy called Alex who runs something similar to what I do called A Better Man. Really great guy, really great sort of podcast setup, and we dropped a 2 hour, pretty much just under a 2 hour podcast on talking about men and men's development. So that's going to be a really good listen when that's out. I'll let you know. And then today we're doing a charity day, a golf course for prostate cancer. So a bit of a charity day, raising some money and some funds, which will be really, really great. So let's get into it. So if you ever had a Game Boy as a kid and you played Tetris, you'll know what I'm talking about. So like when you're playing a game Tetris, you've got to align all of the boxes and get them all set up in the right way so that you can start building your game and getting your score up right. And there will always be one of those shapes that you get the wrong way round as you're going down. And then all of a sudden it becomes very difficult to be able to lay the foundations for all of the other blocks. Okay, the key was always to get the right shape and the right part of the game to then build the structure and build it up. And I heard this analogy yesterday on the podcast, and it was a brilliant analogy. And when he said it, I was like, God, that's so true in terms of people's development. Because what ends up happening is that one part of our routine or one part of our structure falls down or collapses or is just put in the wrong way, and then the rest of our life around it suddenly struggles to then fit into place, right? And I was just sat there and I paused the podcast and I was like, God, that's so true. So like, for example, if you press snooze in the morning, that's almost like putting that wrong shape out of practice, right? Putting the wrong shape out of practice. So you then are out of sync. So the rest of the day is very, very difficult to catch up because of that wrong shape. Like on the Tetris game, you're then playing catch up. You're having to fight really, really hard to win the day again, right? You miss your workout. Again, it's like the shape in Tetris. You're then out of sync because you haven't done your workout, which puts you in a really great frame of mind for the day, or makes you feel accomplished, or makes you feel physically, mentally, emotionally strong. So then you're trying to salvage the rest of the day because that one piece of your puzzle for the day is the wrong way round. Okay, you might work through your break. You might work on longer than normal. You might have watched the news and you didn't want to, and it's put you in a negative mood, whatever it might be. There are all of these like little parts of our day that are all set in stone, and that's what we call SRS, right? SRS being structure, routine and systems. And those structure, routines and systems are all designed for us to be able to run a smooth game. Like, you know, when we play Tetris, we lay all of the foundation blocks at the very bottom, and it allows us to then build up and get all of the points to win. And it shows you the importance of having a structure, a routine and system. Everything has its place. Everything has its alignment for you becoming successful in your life, okay? the other thing I was watching the other night was McGregor Forever on Netflix. And I watched the second episode, and he was talking about the importance of attention to detail. So training when he said he was going to train, eating what he said he was going to eat, sleeping when he said he was going to sleep. And he was talking about he was only like 70% for the Khabib fight. And then when I watched on this fight and this build up to when he was fighting the Cowboy, he was meticulous with everything, like with his training. He was showing up, he was doing what he said he was going to do, he was paying attention to the micro aspects of his performance. He was becoming an elite operator, okay? Whereas in the build up with Khabib, that wasn't there. And it shows you that the attention to detail when it comes to our development as a human being is fundamentally key. Because without the attention to detail, what we do is we always slip. We'll always slip somewhere along the line. There's going to be some element of sacrifice, some element of pain, because we've made a shortcut, because we've pressed snooze, because we've missed a workout, because we haven't done what we said we were going to do. And that snowballs into mixed emotions. That snowballs into fight or flight. And that's where some lads bury their head in the sands, right? And it only takes 1 or 2 days. 1 or 2 days of going 1% in the wrong direction, and you end up at the bottom of a pile where your Tetris shape is the wrong way, and you're scrambling to get all your other shapes to the bottom and regain control of the game, right? And to the point where it becomes game over. So I wanted to do this small chat, and it's only going to be a quick one this morning, because I wanted you to be really self-aware about the things that you're saying to yourself in terms of, so I was on the road yesterday and I stopped at the service station and I was like, oh, I don't need a Starbucks. I don't need a Coke. I don't need a Subway. So I went into Waitrose and I was like, right, get a low sugar drink, get fruit, buy a better meal, buy the best that you can possibly buy from the service station. And it did, and it felt really good because actually I felt better for it, eating something better. And I think too often we drop the standards somewhere along the line, whether it's the food we eat, whether it's the training that we do, whether it's the routine that we set, whether it's the communication that we have with the people that we love the most. We drop the standards slightly. And if we drop the standards slightly in one area, we're more likely to do it in another area. To be fully successful at this, we've got to have this mindset of how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So we need to make sure we're looking at every aspect of our life and we have a standard for ourselves, and that standard creates the man. So if you are not showing up, then the standards are low. If you are thriving and you're growing, then your standards are high. And every time you do something, and this is what I'm trying to get into myself, okay, when I do something, when I'm about to make a decision, I've got to always ask myself, is this the right thing to do? Do I need this right now? Does this benefit me or does this hinder me? And that self-awareness and challenging yourself and asking the question internally of, do I, like me working past this hour, does it benefit my family? Does it benefit the time that I get to spend with them? Me making an excuse not to go to the gym, does that benefit my body? Does that benefit my mental health? And you know the answer, but you've got to have the awareness to keep challenging yourself. Does that make sense? Hope so. All right, just a short, sharp one this morning, guys. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. We're back to it next week, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take it easy.